What is good, everybody? Man, hell of a fucking main slate we just had. Woo! We got some high fantasy points scored, and that's what we came to see. But first and foremost, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for choosing us to be your recap show. We appreciate you guys tapping in. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Helps us out so much. Shorts in the building. What's going on, buddy? Adam, damn. Man, we had some RBs show the fuck out, did we not? Holy shit, some dudes that were dead are back. They're alive.
It's almost like Shorts is right on cue here. We live. We're back. I mean, there's a lot of ones to get to. Unfortunately, some of the key guys I wanted to get to, I didn't get the holograms in, but we still got a lot of access to talk to you guys about some of the games today. There was a lot of craziness, man. Some guys we expected to do well didn't, and also some guys that were kind of being forgot about, talked about as shitty, really showed up and said, "Nah, motherfucker, I ain't dead."
Man, let's start with the Chargers game, man. Austin motherfucking Eckler.
Yep.
For those of us who have rostered Austin Eckler on our contenders, holy shit. I said this morning, this ain't a fucking victory lap, but I just had a feeling with the way they talked about him, the way the offensive line, was decimated with the loss of Slater, Justin Herbert kind of being banged up. I figured it'd be a heavy Austin Eckler game, but holy shit, man. Holy shit. Man put out 34.9 fantasy points in standard PPR scoring.
Yeah, man.
34.9.
He fucking balled out, dude. Absolutely balled out.
6 catches, 49 yards, a touchdown, 13 carries, 60 yards, and 2 more touchdowns. Welcome fucking back, Austin Eckler. This is what we expected. What was he, RB3 on the year last year? Like he was.
Yeah, he was RB3 last year. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh man, I'm glad he's back.
They said it. They did it. Sometimes you get coach speak. That was, no, we're going to feature Austin Eckler, and they made sure to get him the ball in a variety of ways, Mike, which was also pretty good to see, right? Like they didn't just running, passing, everything, man.
They got him the fucking football. Mike Williams had a good game. Nice to see out of him. Gerald Everett still doing Gerald Everett things, and Josh Palmer, man, like you smash spots. No Keenan Allen. It's not the time. Like you can't even get a productive game out of Josh Palmer when Keenan Allen's out. Like what the fuck are we doing, man?
Like what? Why? Right. I mean, it's Josh Palmer. I guess ultimately you shouldn't ever really expect too much out of him other than he's just in a great offense. But you're right. Yeah, like if he can't do it, I mean, the offense was good though today. He just wasn't a part of it. Everett, man, I'll tell you what, Everett's one of these guys that like everybody kept kind of chasing him year in and year out. We went to Seattle and
yeah. One of those hyper athletic tight ends that we always seem to love. Yeah,
exactly. And now it's like, okay, he's in a spot where they're utilizing him and that athleticism can shine in a good offense. And he might be one of those sneaky, like if you drafted him or traded for him in best ball that like really helps your roster. I mean lineup too, but that'd be more so if you just didn't have a good tight end. And now like Everett, okay, here he is. Like you're going to plug him in.
I think we expected something from him last year, right, when he was with Russ.
Exactly.
But as we can see with Alberto, like Russ just don't give a fuck about your tight ends, bro. He really does. Alberto's fucking dead, man. Did he do anything today?
Honestly, man, he didn't do anything. I know it was better, but man, I don't know how exciting anything that team really. I mean, it's good, but it's just not at all what you were hoping for, man. It just isn't. That whole team.
This is fucking horrible, man. It is absolutely horrible.
It did suck since we're talking about that, though, that Javonte went down. Hopefully not too serious. We'll see what happens with him.
I don't feel great about it, too, because of how quickly they said, he's out for the game. Yeah, it wasn't like, sometimes you get those sprained MCLs, right, and they're, questionable to return, and then you just find out later, he's going to miss a few weeks. Man, that seemed like it was within a matter of fucking minutes. It was, Javonte's out for the rest of the game. Done.
See, Alex, we in this bitch. What's up, man?
Didn't make me feel good about it. How about the other side of that Chargers game, man? Dameon Pierce.
Wow, he went off. Wow. Yeah, he went off.
I need to ask you: do we continue to follow the process? He looked fucking good, but do we continue to follow the process on these kind of running backs with bad profiles, not the greatest draft capital, that kind of stuff where we think maybe they're just 1-year guys. So think like James Robinson, Elijah Mitchell, insert guy who just produces for 1 year and then we kind of feel bad about it the next year. Are we going to follow the same pattern with him? Like if you have him on a contender, you're probably not moving him because he's going to produce. But if you have him on any kind of rebuild or anything 2 years out, are you still moving him for any first right now?
Personally, I'm moving him for a first. Honestly, Mike, I guess it would depend if it's best baller lineup and, what I'm getting in return. But, like, I think I'm not going to say he's not going to have other big weeks, but, like, I even on a contender, depending if I knew what my league dynamics were, as long as it's not a best ball team that I need everybody. Like, on a best ball, I'm not going to sell him for a first, probably. In lineup, though, Mike, I think I would sell him even then for a first and try to keep that as leverage to move to go get something different and more solid long-term in Dynasty. Like, I think Pierce is probably going to be good this year. He's probably going to get that type of workload. I don't know how good it's going to be game to game, but I'm not still buying into it like long-term. I think it's more of a like he's the guy this year, and I don't know how realistic it is to expect this from him year in and year out, man.
Fair enough.
How about you?
I think I'm going to write him out on my contenders. Like, you're going to have to make a hell of an offer to get him off. Like,
what are you talking
running back? Like, man, you got to be like a first and a good second. Like, I'm not just taking any second and any first. You know what I mean? Like, it's got to be
maybe a
reasonable
first and
one.
a player plus though too.
Yeah. I'm probably leaning towards. I really don't want your second. I want a player.
Yeah,
something.
Yeah, makes sense.
And that's where I'm at on a rebuild. Man, the more and more it goes on, and like the more and more I kind of see from this guy, I want to buck the trend, but I think I'm just going to stick to the process, right? I'm going to stick to the process. You give me a first, he's gone. If he's not an integral part of my team this year. So
yeah,
that's where I'm at with him. Brandon Cooks did Brandon Cooks things. He always does it. Nico Collins had a nice long catch, and Davis Mills is still Davis Mills. Breaking news.
Davis Mills is still doing Davis Mills type things. Yeah, man.
Let's go to the RB2 on the week, Adam. Josh fucking Jacobs. 34.5 fantasy points. Holy ball sacks.
Yeah, man.
28 carries. So, hello in your point per carry leagues. 144 yards, 2 touchdowns, and got involved in the receiving game yet again. 5 catches, 31 yards. Zamir White did get 2 carries. So, there he is. Remember that first preseason game. This is the best you're going to get.
I mean, this, Mike, is, we talked about it a little bit, how like 3 weeks it starts to get to the point where there's enough of a sample size where people think they can predict the rest of the year off of it, and how really still 3 weeks is not a big enough sample size for the entire season. No matter what you think and how much you want to give it as it's close to a quarter of the season or whatever, this and that, like, it's 3 weeks. And the Raiders, it's still a team that brought over Adams. It's still kind of gelling, and I don't know that they're going to ever be great. But the point was with him, Josh Jacobs here, right? The offense is going to be better, and when they're scoring and giving scoring opportunities, like, Jacobs is going to be the beneficiary. And we saw that today, right? Like, a bunch of work, red zone work. Now, we talked about how it's going to be probably a little more boom bust because of, he's not going to get passing work a lot. But these type of games, I think still, I don't know how realistic it is to get this every week, but I think he still has a few more of these left in the tank, honestly, for this year.
I do agree with you on that. I'm not like penciling him in as an RB1, just
no,
start with no questions. But man, you could do a lot worse as your RB2. You could do a lot worse as your third swing running back in your flex quite a bit. So Josh Jacobs, stand the fuck up. He produced, and it was good to see from him. Davante Adams actually came back and did some shit, so that was good to see too. 9 catches, 100 yards. Derek Carr, not the greatest. Didn't throw any touchdowns, but no turnovers. Did what he needed to do to get the win. Hey, the Denver offense, the much maligned Denver offense, Adam, right? They actually showed something. Russ started scrambling a little bit. We did talk a little bit about the Javonte Williams thing. Melvin Gordon had a terrible fumble, and didn't get seen much for the rest of the game. Even when Javonte went down, it was the Mike Boone show. So keep an eye out for Mike Boone, especially in your best ball leagues with the Javonte thing. That might be a priority pickup. Melvin might be in the doghouse. He's got 4 fumbles on the fucking year already.
Honestly, that's like Williams getting hurt, period, was going to suck. But the crazy part is it's literally like a quarter after like the thorn in the side Melvin Gordon thing was possibly getting put to bed. Like,
yeah.
He fumbled for the second time in the game. This one they lose and they return for a touchdown. He'd already had fumbling issues in prior games. I hope it's not too long of a sit out for Javonte Williams, because I do think if this offense does get better, like I still think this game, I want to see more from both teams, because personally I think both of these teams may not actually be that good as what we thought.
Yeah.
So
that whole division.
Yes.
Outside of maybe the Chiefs.
Right. So, like, I want to see more of it. But if the Broncos do actually continue to improve, if that's actually going to happen, Mike, I think, like, Javonte Williams, it was going to get really good for him. So I'm hoping it's not too serious.
Last part, and then I'll answer JJ's question here. Judy and Sutton both about 50 yards and a touchdown. So,
yep.
Nothing great to report, but Jesus, I'll take 50 yards and a touchdown on 4 or 5 catches every single week. You could do a hell of a lot worse. Tight ends, dead. Eric Saubert. I don't even know how to fucking, who cares? Only tight end with a catch. Good Lord.
Barry in the house. What's good, Barry?
Denver tight end. So JJ said he has Mahomes, A.J. Dillon. The game just finished for A.J. Dillon in San Francisco. Defense and special teams down by 32.
Mahomes gonna have to ball, man. Mahomes gonna have to ball, honestly.
Man, it just sucks he's playing Tampa Bay, right? You just wish it was a shittier defense. And I mean, I guess that's not to say anything. Remember, he went the fuck off against Tampa Bay. Was it last year or the year before? Him and Tyreek.
I think it was last year, right?
I get so convoluted, so mixed up in my brain sometimes. But I remember them going the fuck off. Maybe. You always have that. It's Patrick Mahomes, man.
The other thing, too, is, I'll be interested to see how that game goes on Monday night, too, because Shanahan seemed to have, McVay's number. And, like, even if they get, like, a defensive touchdown or something, all of a sudden the thing really swings. I don't play in a whole lot of defense leagues anymore. I play in a couple, so there's always a chance that they have some kind of crazy game too. But
Dynasty, Alex said it was 2 years ago, but I remember just Tyreek Hill going fucking peace on everybody.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he loved that. I mean, I think he's got a chance, but I think it's less than 50%.
I feel you. Next game I wanted to touch my Eagles, man. I won't do it to you. I won't touch on the Brownies, but we'll touch on the Eagles, man. 14-0 to start off. Holy shit. I was like, wow, what is going on here? But Eagles ended up eagling. Man, Jags just really couldn't get fucking anything going. That Eagles defense, when they want to play, they can fucking play. I saw a stat where Trevor Lawrence is the only player in history, I think, to lose 4 fumbles in one game.
Yeah.
Not just fumble 4 times, but to actually lose them. Holy shit. Miles fucking Sanders. Again, Josh Jacobs-esque, right? 27 carries, 134 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
Couple catches, 2 for 22. Not the worst. And really, if Nick Sirianni, actually would stop being an asshole, he would have had 3 touchdowns, because that Kenneth Gainwell one should have been Miles Sanders. He did the fucking work.
We got you, Barry. Yeah. CMC over Sutton. As much as we love Sutton, got to be CMC. Sanders went off, man. It's kind of funny how literally last week there was in the same show, right? The down narrative on Sanders and on Jacobs. And we were both kind of like, yeah, it's not great, but there might be better days ahead. Like, you have to still have a little faith. And they both answered with some big days that I wouldn't have seen quite this big a day. Sanders, man, you know what? I think Sanders will continue to be frustrating, but there's gonna be weeks where he can go off like this. Like, that's Yes,
we know for a fact. We've seen it multiple times. There's gonna be weeks where you're gonna get 2 fucking points, and it's gonna be infuriating. But you just kind of got to write them out, right? Like that RB3 type, that RB3 in your flex, maybe an RB2 in a pinch. Generally,
I do think
I wouldn't have that on my teams, like how I build them, but. It's not the worst thing to have it in there where it's just he'll win you a fucking week here and there for sure.
And I do think too that game was it was pouring all game, so it also lended down. I mean, dude, Philly ran the ball 50 fucking times.
That's a lot.
Bro, that's like, I'm not saying Sanders still doesn't have a good ceiling, but like that was gonna be like, at least we know though that Sanders, like when you put him in the lineup, you can feel a little bit of, it's not just this mediocre floor play. Like Sanders does have a very good ceiling in that offense.
We had a down-to-earth game from Jalen Hurts. He wasn't that great.
Right.
But again, like you had mentioned, the weather, so I'm not going to be too fucking harsh on him. Trevor Lawrence also was not that good. Weather. Travis Etienne did fuck all. James Robinson did fuck all. Christian Kirk.
James Robinson, man, was the last week we talked about must start and then does that. Yeah. So that was hard to see.
AJ Brown didn't give a fuck about the weather. 5 for 95. He don't care. Dallas Goedert did not care either. Devontae Smith, on the other hand, 3 for 17. So those are the kind of weeks we're going to have from Devontae Smith. But AJ Brown, he's back. He's been back, but there's no fucking question. I think we had a start-sit question about AJ Brown. And I think everybody said, like, there's no question about it. Like, if you roster AJ Brown, you're fucking starting him.
Yeah, he was he's a must start. I think he's in the conversation for the rest of the season, like top 3 at the receiver position.
For sure.
Slim Reaper, our boy, man, that's going to be more of a, like, we talked about how there's still going to be a low floor at times. I think this weather doesn't help him, but there's still going to be weeks where it's not great for him, right? Like, he's got a lower floor, but as we saw, last week and the week prior, he's not going to be irrelevant, and he certainly still has a ceiling. So better days ahead, but like, he's going to give you frustrating weeks. You have to understand that. That's why he's more of a wide receiver 3.
Man, I love it. Barry giving you props for the sick holograms as always. That's what Adam does, man. That's what Adam does. He never ceases to amaze me. We went from barely putting out a shitty-ass show on
Barry.
Patreon back a year ago to now Adam's got fucking holograms just popping up. I love it.
I will say, Barry, you're catching the show where I made a few for the staples, and for whatever reason, I can't figure out where they are. So I don't have all of them today, but keep coming back, man. We're gonna bigger things ahead. Just like Devontae Smith, better days ahead.
It's that Brownies loss and all that Sazerac that you've been hogging down here this afternoon,
dude. Mike, we lost to a team. I guess since we might as well switch to that game. Mike, we lost to a team, Mike, and I pulled this up. We lost to a team that completed 7 passes today.
Literally, yeah.
Mike, in the last 20 years, teams that completed less than that, those are all fucking bad weather games. Like, this is a fair weather game.
One of the few, right? In a dome, indoors,
bro.
In Atlanta.
What?
Didn't give a matter.
Like, imagine, the offense. Like, Stefanski doesn't kick the field goal early. Njoku's fumble really hurt us. But imagine knowing that Atlanta's offense is not that talented outside of Pitts, and as far as the running standpoint and the offensive line, they're gonna run because they can't throw, and you just are getting bullied. It's just so frustrating on all levels, man.
Nick Chubb, though. Nick Chubb
is still Nick Chubb, man.
Still hashtag good at football. Kareem Hunt's still frustrating as fuck to own.
And you know what, man? Let me give you a takeaway that, I'm getting to the point where, I know there's not the best weeks every time, but, it's just, dude, 25 yards fucking early. And
I think he had a 60% route participation today. I believe that is courtesy of Dwayne McFarland I saw on Twitter. So shout out to him. But not good. Not good, Bob. What the fuck we doing, Arthur? What are we doing?
Yeah, of course you can, Dynasty Alex. As long as I have it made. You can absolutely do that. Or for next week.
It's frustrating. Drake London, though, we were both hesitant on him on the start sit because of the Denzel Ward effect. That was very much a thing. I watched that fucking pick they threw. Denzel Ward was all over him, eating his lunch. Kyle Pitts, I don't know who the fuck was covering Kyle Pitts. Mostly defensive lineman, I guess.
Man. Mariota was.
Defensive lineman, because Arthur Smith's keeping him in the block. I don't know what the fuck's going on, man.
Mike, but here's the thing. I love the prospect of London and obviously of Pitts too. But, man, this season on Contenders, dude, if they're going to throw the ball that little and complete 7 passes, how can you seriously press the button on these guys? There's probably going to be better days ahead, but, man, it's just we need this team to get a quarterback because there's serious upside in both him and Pitts, but I don't know how consistent
Listen,
it is
man,
right now.
we've seen this. We've seen this before. Same coach, same quarterback. Tennessee.
It is
Same
the
offensive
exact
coordinator,
same thing.
same quarterback. Made Corey Davis and AJ Brown there for a time unusable. So it is what it is. It was good to see Tyler Algier. He ran well. Like he's not completely dead. Again, I'm not going to get too excited over it, but 10 for 84 was nice to see. Cordell Patterson had kind of a reduced role. Your Browns, man, Amari Cooper, fuck all, did nothing.
I guess one, he fumbled that ball, which is it really hurt the team. But Njoku again leading the team in yards.
Yeah, maybe he's really a thing now. Finally, after all these years.
I will say too, especially with Watson coming back, like if you have these guys on contenders, I would not sell low, because when he comes back, if you can make the playoffs with any of those offensive weapons, Chubb, Njoku, Cooper, they could be league winning, man.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to what I think is the man of the day.
He asked for it, so I'll get it really quick. There's not a whole lot to talk about. I think he's going to be boom or bust. I think in best ball, we talked about it on the trade show that's going to come out. Best ball, I want to roster him on a contender. Lineup, I just don't think I'll ever have the confidence to press the button.
Let's talk about the man of the fucking day, in my opinion. One, because it's a great story. Two, because he balled the fuck out for what he did. 22.3 fantasy points. Mr. J.K. Dobbins is not dead. You know?
No.
All that talk about any first. Nah, I'm good, fam. Like, I'm good.
I mean, Mike,
maybe I'm the rebuilders, but
this is week 4. This is week 4 too. Like, I would have told you too. Like, as much as I love J.K. Dobbins and the talent, that by week 4 he's not getting 2 touchdowns and as much work as he did. I think the other thing is, Mike, he caught 4 passes.
That's the big one,
right? That was the one that, like, okay, I'm very intrigued. And then also, like, I still think as he gets more healthy, he'll get more work. Like, he wasn't playing the lion's share snaps. So
right. We're going to get a lot less Justice Hill.
Yes. So I think, like, I think what I saw, honestly, is not just good for today, but it's really encouraging for his future outlook.
I remember the talk last year going into it, but even when JK was out, was about, Lamar last year started checking down to running backs a lot more than we'd ever seen in his.
Ty didn't get his milk.
Good.
That sucks,
I'm sorry, Ty. We'll give him a bad review. Last year when Lamar started checking down to the running backs, like, we were like, is this just a function of how bad the offense is without these running backs, that kind of stuff?
Right.
And no, it's actually a real thing. Lamar will check down to running backs, right? Historically, his first couple of years, he didn't at all.
Right.
Now we know that he doesn't have any qualms about it, which is good to see, especially for a guy like JK, because that was always the biggest knock. Like, is he just going to be the next Nick Chubb without, highly efficient running back? Going to have some bad weeks, going to have some explosive weeks, but you never get that consistent receiving work. And, 4 targets, 4 catches, not too bad. One of them being one for a touchdown on a little shovel pass, which is just kind of overrun anyways. But
yeah, I mean,
and good.
The weather in this game, made it a little more tricky. Obviously, Lamar was not Lamar that we were used to early.
Yeah,
I don't give that any stock on him for the rest of the season. I think he's going to be just fine. I will say this, Mike. As Lamar doesn't do well, the pass catchers aren't going to do well. But I don't know, man. Like, I'm still a believer, but I'm starting to have, like, high upside doubt.
I think it's going to be more boom bust than we ever wanted it to be.
Right.
Like, we kind of assume this, 1B target share, and on this offense, yes and no. Sometimes Lamar just carries this fucking team, or the running game is going to carry the team. So not as great as probably we hoped. I'm still in on Bateman, though. Like, I'm willing to give it time. This is really his first full year doing stuff, right? He missed so much. He missed so much time last year, and then you had all the Lamar hurt, Tyler Huntley, no Tyler Huntley, fucking Josh Johnson to end the year. I'm willing to give it a little bit of time. I like some of the stuff I've seen from Bateman, but also like the usage. I'm with you, man. It's given me a little bit of a pause, a little bit of a pause for sure.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
We saw even Mark Andrews, right? 2 for 15.
Right,
Not
like
great.
That's what I mean. The day as a whole, I wouldn't take it too much stock down, because if Lamar is going to have a passing game like that with the weather, none of the pass catches are going to be great. But I'm just at this point like. Really, his production for the first couple weeks were those long touchdowns, and I'm still hopeful of the prospect. I'm mildly like concerned about what the realistic week to week safe is.
There really wasn't a pass catcher on either offense, Bills or Baltimore, that had a good week. So
I think Diggs was their best, and it was very mediocre, 60 yards or something.
Yeah. I mean, you're looking at a 10-point PPR week.
Oh, okay. Fuck, man. He just
not that great.
He just left. Javonte left on crutches.
Oh no.
Well, we'll see. It's a knee injury.
JT's probably got a high ankle sprain too, so we'll just add it to the list of disappointment. Saquon Barkley still doing Saquon Barkley things, right? Golly, I'm so glad I bought
Mike.
I'm so glad I bought in Saquon.
Dude, he's
kind of good at football, Adam.
I mean, is he just that good? Like,
yes,
bro.
Yes.
I feel like he's one of all the videos we were planning to do. That was like the one that we were gonna do and didn't release. And I have him on a lot of contenders, Mike, because he was going in the 5th in startups, man. And it's just, I think he kind of breaks the mold for what I would normally like to do. Like, if it was not the prospect of Saquon, who's coming up on 25, I'm probably not buying back in. But it's Saquon fucking Barkley, and you're getting him in the range that was just, I have to bet on the talent. And then on top of the talent too, like, because he's so talented, I think what's really lost about him, this was one of the reasons I was very high on him potentially having RB1 overall. Now, I didn't expect, 1, JT to get hurt, and 2, that offense to be that bad. Like, that was talking about with other guys producing. But with Saquon, man, because he's so talented, he sees the field the entire time. Like, Mike, he had to get a blow after getting one big play, and then it was in the red zone. They gave the other guy 1 carry, and then Saquon's literally, you see him like finishing the water bottle and like sprinting back in. Like,
gotta go.
He is when you have a guy that is seeing that much opportunity, because we chase opportunity in fantasy football, right? And then on top of the opportunity, it's the most talented running back prospect we've ever seen.
Next week may be rough for him, though. Like, possibly no Daniel Jones, possibly no Tyrod Taylor. He was in concussion protocol. We don't know if he's going to clear. It's that fucking Davis Webb. Are we going to get a Davis Webb game? Oh, baby. Can't wait. So it could just be the entire Saquon show. But if there's one guy who just doesn't give a fuck and would go out there and produce anyways, it'd be him. None of the receivers were any good. Daniel Jones ran the ball a lot. Couple touchdowns, like the same fucking play. The Bears just let him do the same thing over. It was good to see Darnell Mooney get loose, right? 4 for 94. Finally had a couple shots down the field. What's up? Justin Fields did break it. 11 completions. We fucking did. Mama, we made it. We made it. He smashed that ridiculously low passing line of like 146 yards. 174.
He threw more completions than Marcus Mariota this week. Let's go.
Let's fucking go. Things are looking up. That's about all to touch on that game. It's Saquon Barkley, and that's about fucking it. Let's move on to Kenny Pickett. Right? We can't not touch
it hurts
Kenny
that I didn't get I know I did the hologram. Kenny Pickett, man. So, well, real quick. Short says, if Javonte has an ACL injury, what are you adding to a Bark Javonte swap? Contender, rebuilder, what are you doing? Which side are you getting? Generically, though, Mike, go ahead.
If I'm trading my Javonte for Bark, I want to add a first or less. That's where I'm at. I don't like selling these running backs on injuries, especially like Javonte, second year kind of guy. We've done this in the past, Adam, and it always seems to come back and bite me in the ass. Cam Akers, J.K. Dobbins
today,
Etienne. Right? We did a whole fucking podcast on this where, yes, at different times it's the right move, and then like you just look at it, you have such a long sell window where you can actually get more out of it if you just, show a little patience. But Bark is so damn good. The RB1. I think I'd be comfortable adding my late first to get it done on a contender, on a rebuilder. I mean, if somebody wants to fucking come to me, or like middle of the road, somebody wants to come to me and buy my Barkley.
You've been waiting to move, but you haven't been able to.
Correct. I would ask for a first, at least. Like
Yeah.
it's got to be a first at least. No questions asked. I'm not taking a couple seconds. I'm not doing any of this bullshit. You want the RB1 and you want to trade an injured guy with an ACL for him, it's going to take you a first, homie. Period. End of story.
I'll take your projected late one 4 weeks in even. But yeah, I'm with you. Kenny Pickett. Let's talk about Kenny Pickett. I do have some other questions to get to, but
quick, will this be the last game recap, and then we'll talk on the other stuff. Kenny Pickett, 3 interceptions, and yet still finished with 3 to 4 times the QB rating of Mitch Trubisky.
But
imagine that.
What's crazy though is like, I'm curious to see what people have to say, because 2 of them were not his fault at all. One's at the very fucking end of the game.
Yep. And the other one
was
Deontay's hands.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I'll be honest. If there's any narrative about him throwing 3 picks or whatever,
I'm not worried about it.
Throw that out the window, or even like if someone's worried by him.
The offense looked 10 times better when he got in the game in the second half.
If you did not watch the game, like, I don't know if you can go, if you have access to go watch the replay games or whatever, I would encourage you to do it, because Mike, there's points of football that when you're watching as someone that's tapped in watching a shit ton of games, you can just feel the energy shift. Like there was, on top of the fact that he looked better and more competent as a passer, the whole offense looks so much better. I mean, and then, like, people are saying Kenny Pickett has no upside. Now, I know they're close to the goal line, but Mike, it's in a half a game. He has 2 rushing touchdowns. Like, we try to say the kid's not unathletic. He's just not fucking like a Justin Fields type guy. So people were dunking on him.
Yep. Sneaky athletic, right? But it was good for everybody in that offense. Pat Freiermuth looked better when he got in. George Pickens stood up. The only guy that didn't look better was Deontay. I don't know if there's anything to read into that, but GP was the primary guy for Kenny Pickett, even though he went deep to Chase Claypool, which was a dumb idea because Chase Claypool's garbage, apparently. But Najee Harris actually had some more room to run. Some, and the Jets don't have a horrible run defense. Like, it's actually fairly decent. So seeing Najee over 4 yards per carry, 18 carries, 74 yards was a nice sight to see with Kenny Pickett in there. So whole offense definitely looking up for me. 3 picks, I'm not worried about it. That's actually what it was, right? The end of the game, the Hail Mary, he threw the deep ball to Chase Claypool, which Claypool actually had it in his fucking hands and would have been not a spectacular catch, but I mean, it wasn't an easy one.
Right.
Could have been a better throw, or could have thrown it earlier for sure. But then he literally just dropped it right into the defender's fucking hands. And then the other one, I believe, went off Deontay's hands, a Karam. So Kenny Pickett, man, it's good to see him finally get in there. Bip Scalise, T-Rock, he's going to owe me an F1 hat. He's going to lose that bet about Mitch Trubisky starting 10 games. Mitch is fucking awful.
Man. Dude, it was never going to happen, in my opinion, unless that defense just carried them to wins, and they're winning despite Mitch. And Tomlin also did not want to do this. Like, I think what you have to really talk about is how Mitch was so bad. Like, Tomlin did not want to do this, and Mitch was so bad that it forced it to happen in fucking game. Like, Pickett, I think, honestly, it's an arrow up for not just Pickett, the rest of the team. Pat Freiermuth, Pickens, it looks like, maybe especially. Even Deontay Johnson probably better, and then obviously Najee is going to have a little more room to operate. Hopefully, more scoring opportunity for the entire team. So,
how about Shorts' Jets? Zach Wilson didn't look good at times, but then led a crazy drive. Looked very good on the last drive, showing off his talent. Would like to see more from Elijah Moore and Garrett Wilson. We did not. It ended up being a Corey Davis game. Kind of gross, to be honest. But the big takeaway I have for that one is, I'm willing to say it, Breece Hall has taken over this backfield.
It's happening.
Sooner than I thought, too. Like, I thought it'd take a little bit longer, to be honest. But the usage here these last couple of weeks, it is Breece fucking season. So good night, Michael Carter. I mean, you'll be a fine flex play like Naheem Hines. But that's probably about it, man.
Yep, Breece took the backfield over probably sooner than most people would have expected. I would say this too, Mike. What sucks is like that Javonte injury. Really, really clouds, and then obviously JT possibly having the high ankle sprain. It really clouds the day because like Brees broke free, right? Dobbins did well. Eckler fucking balled out. Like the running backs were having such a good day as a whole. I mean, Saquon was still doing Saquon things. Taylor's situation, I don't think, was great this year anyway. They're just stacking the box against this dude. But if he has a high ankle sprain, man, not good for him. And then hopefully Javonte's injury is not too serious. He's on crutches. So, but as a whole, like, I mean, the Javonte Williams and Taylor injuries suck. But there are some really good things coming out of RBs today.
Yeah, I just did a quick count here. We had looks like 14 running backs over 15 fantasy points per game on the week, standard PPR scoring. Couple that got close, Damian Harris, or not Damian Harris, Rex Burkhead and Aaron Jones as well. So, not too bad. I mean, there's some names in here that we didn't project, right? Nobody really thought anything of Jamal Williams. Rashad Penny, we dunk on him all the time. Damian Pierce had his warts. But, I mean, some of these other names, right? We expected Breece Hall. We expected Joe Mixon. We expected Saquon, Chubb, J.K. Dobbins, Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey. Me, held the faith about Miles Sanders, Josh Jacobs, and Austin Eckler. So, you know, just think what it'd be like if we had Javonte and JT up there producing as well.
I wouldn't say so, John, just yet. I don't think stock down yet. I think just wait and see still with him. I'm not stocked out.
Just not the ridiculous hype levels that we had a couple weeks ago, right? We pump the brakes and we get back to more normalcy.
Yeah, Shorts. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but yeah, Hawk had an insane game. I don't know, man. You're not gonna phenomenal, man. When weapons come back, like I mean, that's he's a dog, but like that. Be careful with this one. Go ahead.
Let me say this, all right, Adam. I saw all the, now sell high on TJ Hawkinson, right? Let me say first, the tight end landscape is a fucking shit show dumpster fire, and not a shit show like this show, which is actually good. We hope.
Yes, John.
A shit show in a bad way.
Yes, John.
It's a shit show in a bad way. When you got guys like Tyler Conklin up there, Darren Waller, again, almost nothing. George Kittle, he's so up and down. It's Pitt's pretty much Travis Kelce. Fuck it, Pitts give us nothing. Mark Andrews had a horrible game. Let me just say this, man. I had to look it up. I'm not fully in on like sell high on TJ Hawkinson. Obviously, if you get an offer that you can't refuse, somebody's like, I'll give you 2 firsts for TJ Hawkinson. Well, fucking of course. I'm not an idiot. But just a first and a second, Adam, man, with the way tight end is, I might hold on to it because we've seen him now in a couple different years have these monster games. Mm-hmm. And like I'm willing to go out there. Like if I'm going to start Mark Andrews and he's going to get me 5 fucking points, then why not start a guy like TJ Hawkinson, who I also know has that ability to go out and get me, at standard scoring, but PPR scoring, 39 fucking points, right? That's a lot from the tight end position. Yeah. I also had to look up, here's the list of all the tight ends in history who've scored more than 38 fantasy points in a fucking game, Adam. And there's not a lot of turds on here, right? There's no turds on here. So it's Vernon Davis, Travis Kelce, Tony Gonzalez, Zach Ertz, George Kittle, TJ Hawkinson, George Kittle again, Zach Ertz again, Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews, Rob Gronkowski, Antonio Gates, and Darren Waller. There is not a single fucking guy on there which we never heard from again, right? Those are some of the best tight ends that have ever played this game as far as fantasy football is concerned. So I'm not telling you to go out and buy high on TJ Hawkinson. I wouldn't fucking do it myself. I'm just saying maybe a little bit of a pause when you hear like sell high. You don't necessarily have to. Give him some respect. Obviously, it's not going to be like this every week. And he may never hit it again, but he is a very good receiving weapon. He is not without talent. This isn't a Dalton Schultz or one of these subpar athletes at the tight end position who just kind of lucks into some volume at some times. This is actually a very good tight end. And maybe they figured something out, Maybe they're going to throw him the fucking football more, and it's going to be Amon-Ra and him. Because DJ Chark really isn't it, and we still don't know what Jameson Williams is. So just my thoughts on TJ Hawkinson, right? I saw the sell high things come out immediately, and I'm like, let me do a little bit of digging here. Because this is a pretty rare error for a tight end to put up this amount of points.
Sure. I mean, I don't think anybody, well, I can't speak for everybody else. Never have I doubted the talent of TJ Hawkinson. I've never doubted the talent of Noah Fant, but like I think this game here is going to be. It proves to your point that he is a uberly talented athlete at the tight end position. He's got the traits that not many have, right? Like he's in that elite company with the traits that he carries, right? Him, Kelsey, Kittle, Waller types, right? Like that. Pitts is obviously different, but that type of rare air ability. This was at least good to see. He balled when the opportunity knocked. The question for me is going to be, how much opportunity share does he still earn week to week? Because like before this, it's 18 yards, 26 yards, 38 yards. Like,
correct.
Yes. That's not a guy you wanted to even press the button on. So I think it's probably somewhere in the middle, right? Like I don't think such bad weeks are going to be always his floor. But obviously, like, understand this week is just going to be towards probably the top of his career.
Well, let's also give a little bit of credit to Jared fucking Goff because
he's been good,
man.
He's been good
this entire fucking season. So I am very impressed with Jared Goff. But we got a few questions here before we get off. We got to start Clyde or Godwin. Clyde for me. I don't fully trust Godwin yet. Like, I'm willing to be wrong on it, and I fucking hate Clyde Edwards-Helaire. But
I hate him too. I would say I think you kind of have to roll with Clyde this week, at least just to like. If I have a different option than Godwin that makes sense, I'd probably roll with it. I want to see how he's running and everything before, if I don't have to plug him in. So
preferred, yeah.
We
had a couple more in here, I know for sure.
Here's a longer one, but was this monster game just because I'm a Ross Swift all out? We kind of just touched on that, so
yeah.
I think yes, but I do think that like he deserves to earn more opportunities when everyone's back too.
That's all I'm saying. It's just have a little bit of pause, right? Don't be so quick to run out and sell them just because the tight end landscape is fucking horrible. There's a lot worse options you can have than a guy who could potentially get you 30-plus points.
I don't even know if is it a sell high?
If this was performance was a sell high.
If this is a sell high on Russell Wilson, we are all fucked. That whole squad is fucked.
If you can
Russell actually do it, sure, but I don't think you can.
Yeah, good luck.
I thought there was maybe one more. Oh, here. I'm up 31, but my opponent has Mahomes, Kittle, San Francisco D. Is it over? This is a similar question. It probably is.
I know. The other one was what, 32?
It was 32, but no Kittle, right?
Maybe this is the other guy. Maybe instead of
dude, that'd be so awesome. Are you playing? Are you playing our boy from up top? That'd be so great. But
we found them both, right? They both tuned in.
I think
we keep it on brand. We'll tell one of you yes.
One of you
it's
know.
Not over.
The fact that Kittle, this one has Kittle where the other one didn't. So I think that's where I think this Mahomes, Kittle, San Francisco D has the edge. But you never know.
Man, you think 31's a safe thing, but again, Patrick fucking Mahomes, I never doubt what he can do. I think we get a question like every week, don't we? I still got Mahomes, or my opponent still has Mahomes. Am I going to lose? And I'm like, fuck, I don't know, man.
What do you want me to tell you? He could go for 6 fucking touchdowns and 500 yards, but he also, with this offense, might not be God every week. So it's hard to say.
He's got all these sweet ass Hy-Vee commercials now. I don't know what else to do.
maybe it's a Kittle game too. Like, I don't know. Jimmy G just, I think, takes that whole fucking offense down. So I'm not overly excited. But we appreciate everybody tapping in, man. We're going to bounce out. Let's get to this Sunday Night Football game. And make sure, before you come back to us on Tuesday, you tap in tomorrow and see what Cam Akers does.
The way you can give Adam all the shit, or you can prepare for his insufferable victory laps.
Yep. 24 hours later, we're going to have something. We're going to have something.
That's going to do it, fellas. We love you. Thank you for tapping in so much. Please hit that like, comment, and subscribe button. It helps us out so much. We're out of here. Let's enjoy Sunday Night Football. Boom.
Peace. Jimmy G is trash, too.